Slow news day.
Yeah, slow news day.
Slow news day.
We're starting a podcast, I don't know, like 12:10 p.m. Pacific for me on the West Coast. Is a Tuesday. And I'm thinking, like, maybe we could wrap this up in, like,
Hour and a half.
like 120 minutes.
Hour and a half, and we'll be out. That's about
maybe
all
90
we
minutes.
need. Not much going on.
I'm not too worried about it.
Well, so because it's a slow news day, I think that's actually why I would be like, well, hey, we can just, I'll start with this. To Pimp a Butterfly. That's where I think you should start. That's a good place to start.
I think before we continue this conversation, I think we should do a cursory courtesy for audio listeners who are not currently familiar with you or I. Wooly.
Hi.
So my name is Pat. I am a white man. I need you to keep that in the back of your head throughout the whole rest of this conversation.
My name is Wooly. I am not. All right. Moving on.
I don't particularly follow or listen to music. This is an important detail for the ensuing 20 to 40 minutes of conversation.
Who knows?
So, take the floor.
No, To Pimp a Butterfly is where I think you should start your
that's
your
what you
journey.
mean. I see.
Yes. There's a lot of debate about what the right place to jump in is. This is not video games or manga. I mean, it is, and it really is in a lot of ways. But at the same time, you can jump in on different albums to catch different feelings. If you're thinking about diving in to find out what K-Dot is all about.
I was recommended Good Kid, Mad City.
Yes, that's that's the second strongest place you can start too. It goes back and forth, but the thing is that what you're gonna get from people with this is a really like tailor-made based on their tastes. All right, and like what people kind of like and resonate with the most, and what you look for in hip hop kind of is gonna affect what you're gonna prefer, right? So the thing is
all
that
right, I'll skip right to the end here. You know what I prefer? I prefer hatred.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. So like Kendrick storytelling is what early Kendrick is a lot of that is jazz. It is abstract art, rap, and it is storytelling. And Good Kid, Mad City is a narrative. It's an awesome album that is like telling you the story about him and going to see his girl and the shit that goes off when you grow up gang affiliated. But the later albums get into other conceptual stuff. I think To Pimp a Butterfly is a really nice like way to introduce what's going on. It's got like it's got that anger, it's got that strength, it's got a lot of messaging to it, and it hits pretty fucking hard because as it's been described, he raps like he's trying to free the slaves, right? So when it comes to that type of descriptor, you get a lot of that, and you get a good introduction to like him at his best. I think it just fucking it stands out there really strongly, I think, in my opinion. But hatred cranks up quite a good bit in the next album right after that. Damn. Right, all caps, period. Right, there's a lot of anger that comes out of him. It's a little less storytelling and a little more of that like that ferocity. So you can catch that. But I guess the question is like, is there any part of you that is curious about the narrative or the music or any part of like what you're because there's a lot to unpack with this dude. So but there's a reason why I brought him up a while back as like,
I remember,
one of the fucking new, quote unquote new at the time, people to follow.
So I need to apologize because I actually spoke about this a little bit ago on like a stream on last Tuesday, I think it was. And somebody asked me last Tuesday, which was at a very specific point in time, hey, Pat, have you seen anything about this Kendrick and Drake beef? To which I said, I had seen, that was occurring, but I hadn't heard any of the songs. And I said, I don't understand why anyone would expect me to care about two grown men like poetry fighting in the street Right? It's just a bunch of dudes just be like, no, you're stupid, no, you're dumb, whatever, who cares? Well, apparently TikTok on my phone heard that, and later, I think that night or the night next, scrolling dog videos, a lot of dog videos, and then all of a sudden I get to the verse in Euphoria that just activated my third eye, which is, I hate the way that you walk, I hate the way that you talk, I hate the way that you dress. And what I felt in my chest was, that's real hate.
Yeah.
That's real hate.
Shout out to DMX who brought that shit to the forefront. Absolutely. There's a clip of him on the Breakfast Club a while ago with that. So a lot of the time there's these legendary beefs that happen in rap, and like you go back to obviously Biggie and Pac, right, was like the one of the fucking the prodigious and then you get Jay-Z and Nas over the years, which like elicits the term ether when you're describing when someone gets fucking cooked into oblivion, but like there's this thing to it where like sometimes it's just this like there's a point where you hit those where they get to their like kind of pop off points of like, holy shit, did you just hear Hit 'Em Up? I cannot believe what the fuck he just said, right? Opening salvo, so I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. First off, fucked your bitch in the click you claim. West Side, like, just goes in by full form, make sure all your kids don't grow, and you're like, that's mad, I can't believe, what the fuck are we doing, right? But then you kind of get to things where you have like Eminem just pantsing Machine Gun Kelly, in like modern years.
That like reached out to me over the collective unconscious, and I saw it and I was like, why are we letting a man fight a child?
And it's just, and like, again, and just, it's so embarrassing that like by the end of it, MGK switches genres. He just leaves rap. Right?
Oh, I didn't know that was the end of that. That's embarrassing as fuck.
The new like poppy kind of like sing-songy version of the character that is Machine Gun Kelly exists because he left rap. He pieced the fuck out, so yeah, that shit is exactly that like fucking Frederick Tatum Homer shit, so when you hear, and like me and Reggie briefly talked about this, but it's like when you hear that Kendrick Lamar and Drake have beef and like it's escalating to like a battle, it's like the only analogy I can think of for how absurd that is that's like if Kendrick Lamar and Drake had beef. It's so insane,
I love, because I don't listen to either of these guys' music, right? But I have heard, ironically enough, I heard a remix that Triple Q did of one of Kendrick Lamar's songs that I really like the beat on it. But regardless, the image I have of Drake for literally my entire life is that promo image of him laughing in the wheelchair on Degrassi.
Yep.
That, like I nothing like, so like if I see him on a TV or something, it doesn't move that off. So that as primary image.
I'm one step removed from that. It's for me, it's the sticker of his face stuck on the wheelchair like handicap parking sign, and they put his face on the little head for a dot, and he's like, and that in Toronto has been the thing, because yes, that's where he comes from, And I mean, holy shit, man. So just that level of like, yeah, this is crazy. I'm not even paying attention because what the fuck are we talking about here?
How mean could this beef possibly be?
Only, and then went on to just talk about other random boomer rap takes, only to fucking travel to the States and then in the middle of that time just see what the fuck this escalates to, and it hits that point of, oh my god, it's broken through culture. This is getting, it is,
bro. Every single person I know that knows anything about media, including many people who I know did not listen to rap music, just all of a sudden be like, are you hearing what he is saying?
It reaches escape velocity, right? And the reason why is not just because of the names involved, but also by this point, usually someone's dead. Like, that is
I was talking to Paige
crazy.
about that. I'm like, the usual trajectory for this level of venom is a gunfight.
Like, yeah, like the love, like, there's a say, you know, there's a saying, keep it on the wax. You know, that's been the thing. Just like, yo, keep it on the records, keep it on the vinyl, whatever it escalates to make, you know, drop your next shit on your track. Don't take it to real life, you know. But fucking, that's the point you kind of expect, right? So yeah, obviously. So this morning, we don't know what's going on, but like there was
a security guard at Drake's house got shot last night.
Is it did they a security guard? Is that who?
I
Okay,
believe it is a security guard.
Okay, so
but it's all kind of in flux. So
exactly, literally, I saw that right before popping on. But,
so we have escalated to gunfight.
But the point of like when it reached that escape velocity, you know.
But how did we get to escape velocity so fast?
Right. So I mean, yeah.
Because this has been 1 month, 3 weeks.
No. 13 years.
Oh no, but I mean to the casual outside observer.
Sure.
Because my mental clock starts at push-ups.
Because yeah, and anyone who's giving you the timeline on this should be starting at Control, where the Big Sean track where Kendrick jumped on that and made his first big fucking what's the One Piece proclamation in the beginning of
was it? I've hid my treasure. Go out and find it.
Yeah, like right. He says that to the world, and everyone's like, ah, right. So like that little moment is this, Kendrick early on in his career, of course, is jumping on, and he has his like list just dropping names, right? And he's just basically people he's currently friends with, people he's in this industry with, everything. He's like, I got love for all of y'all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas, right? Like,
yeah, I want to be the king.
Trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you niggas. Like that's up, and that thing pops up because everyone goes, oh fuck, he's really about it. He's like, I want to be the best. It's the braggadocio.
But at the same time, if you are an up and comer is pointing you out as somebody to kill in your industry, that means he respects you as an artist, as a goal to reach.
And everyone gets that except Drake.
What?
Everyone
get it.
Understands that it's like, yeah, if you care and you are in this like fucking game and you're trying to, be the best, then bring the competition. Like in anything competitive, you want to fight the best. But Drake takes it personally, and behind the scenes, that's where, there starts to be like the whole talk about like, yeah, him being like upset at that and being like, oh, why would you, we were friends. And I mean, also like there's if you go back to like Section 80, there's not Section 80, no, good, yeah. I think it's Section 80 where there's a Drake collab where they're on a song together, but anyway, like that is he takes that shit and feels it, and whereas other people are like, all right, let's just come back and escalate, but that's the beginning, right? And then all that sort of ramps up over the years, and you get to like the big production that was last year, First Person Shooter, where Drake and J. Cole jump on and they do like a very big video with the two of them, and the whole like, it's, yes, there's the verse that like isn't in question where Jake,
big three,
exactly, where Jake says not Drake, where J. Cole says like, it's like, yeah, we're like, who's the best? Is it Drake, is it me, or is it K Dot? Like, we're the big three, like they're starting a league. And that's like his like there's been other versions of that throughout, like rap history, where it's just like, oh, who's the best at the time or whatever. But in saying that, the premise of this video is the two of them like having chess matches and then sparring and then having their like table tennis matches with each other, and they're kind of like, we're the two greats. And like Drake is like the king of sales, I get, and J. Cole is the
most
king,
money ever,
right? And J. Cole is like the king of depth, and he's saying like he's the deepest,
like,
exactly.
Kendrick's, he's good too,
and he's here too, right? You're just like, okay. And it's all, and that's where also like the Drake Michael Jackson comparisons are, because he like tied for the most
Well,
number one.
some of them anyway.
You know, yeah, exactly, right. Tied for the most number one singles or whatever. So that's where like some of those bars and the comparison points come off. But anyway, like Cole says that, and you know they're having this head-to-head tete-a-tete, and then they're like, oh, it's like the Spider-Man meme where we look at each other.
Yeah,
we're both the greats, you know, and like. And there's rumors, I don't know how substantiated they are, but there's rumors that like apparently there was a point where it was considered, where Kendrick was offered to do that track or so, but like something or not. But whatever the case is, it was just kind of like, oh no, forget him. It's all about this. We're the real two that matter here, you know? So then, yeah, like that's where, you know, especially after everything that was brewing in the background, Kendrick came back a month ago or so on Like That, with a Metro Boomin beat, a name that I'm sure has popped up quite a bit and people have heard
I
since.
know who
yeah.
Metro Boomin is,
yeah.
and he is fucking great at his job.
Just go make some drums or something, you know, and that he did. But hey, on Like That, Kendrick jumped in and basically said, yeah, the fuck Big Three, it's just Big Me. Right. Never mind your bullshit from first person shooter. And so that's where it's like, okay, it's been called out. It's on. Here we go. You know. So that's where you know, J. Cole. Again, this is someone who's known for his depth, and you know, in particular, I as someone who's like kind of I've had friends that are into him and stuff, and I know that like. I feel that the notable thing is he had a track called False Prophets where he basically calls out and predicts Kanye West for everything he is. So it's like, oh shit, you know, like, okay, he's paying attention. But in that, yeah, he did his 7-minute drill, and by his own words, that was the most embarrassing shit he's ever done. He immediately came out after going after Kendrick and said, yeah, you know what, actually, never mind. I'm out. I don't want none of this.
So I saw a little sprinkle of that as it occurred before like I put my foot into it. And I was like, that's strange. I mean, I'm sure it's happened before, but I'm not personally familiar with people putting out a diss track only to immediately walk it back before any level of response at all. Huh. That's weird.
So, and the thing is that like, one, it's like he's not that dude, right? That's like it's kind of like that. It's not that he's not. He doesn't have that energy, and like he clearly knows it, and you can see and like you can infer almost that like behind the scenes there was probably pressure for him to be like, oh, yo, you got to step up, you got to we can't take this lying down, you know? And
he's like, you know what, man? I can take it lying down.
Now
I can.
Now the thing is, at the time that happened, dude, people were so mad. They're like, "You fucking bitch! What a coward!
I saw that.
This is the lamest shit ever. Oh my god! And like, your reputation will never recover. You know, he like, I can't believe it. And then, man,
this motherfucker looks like a genius.
Holy shit! The levels." He is just feet up, right, on vacay with the fam, just, you know, sipping on margaritas, man. Like, just the ability to just see it, predict it, back the fuck off, and leave with your hands washed clean of the affair. They've never been cleaner. That's the thing. It's the exact moment of the back down is right before the escalation point, you know?
I would like to apologize. I said some mean things. I didn't really mean them. I was in a weird place. I really like you. Let's be friends.
Live on stage, you know, at a show no less. And yeah, he looked straight at the camera and said, "I have no enemies." So yeah, that was that, you know? So he does that. But of course, you know, that's where Drake has to come back with his side of things. So he gets into push-ups. You know, that was in mid-April.
Kendrick's short and he doesn't make enough money.
Hey, how you like? Because his album was, you know, Mr. Morale and the Big Step is, how are you gonna step big with size 7 shoes or whatever, and the little album thing is like the shoe size. Like, you're a tiny man.
Funny. I'm small. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. My name is Drake, and I'm here to say we're making fun of Kendrick in a crazy way.
So before we continue, Wooly, I want me and Paige have been talking about this. We are both so in. This isn't usually our scene, but we're so in. But I was talking to her. I'm like, why is everything so funny? Like, why am I walking around giggling at all hours of the day? And it is because a phrase called disproportionate retaliation. When somebody bumps into you and you stab them, that's funny. That's just funny.
It is because it's disproportionate retaliation, right? But it's not just that. It's that the parties involved, like, on one hand, you have literally the definition of club and Walmart music, right? Yeah. This is the sound you hear as you are shopping for products. Man, I saw, as most Steph would say, right?
I saw it. That's what I'm talking. I was just gonna bring that up.
It is so insanely it is so bland, nothing, inoffensive commercial shit. And that's ultimately why I never fucking got into Drake. I never gave a shit. I give no fucks. And I never have.
Drake songs
over the years. It's meant nothing, top to bottom. I know some people will go, nah, he's brought us some classics. Yeah, he's brought some bangers. I never got in. Every right?
Drake song sounds like that other Drake song that I heard. So like this, what's really funny about this, 2 weeks ago, Paige and I are in the car and the radio's on, and what comes on but Taylor Swift, because if the radio's on, Taylor will arrive somehow.
Of course.
Right? And Paige is not a big Swiftie, but she does know that she exists because she's a white woman.
Okay.
And she starts explaining, and I'm like, why does every fucking song sound exactly the same? Like, every single Taylor Swift song sounds like she's in the back of the car. We're never going to get back together. And Paige starts to explain to me that she's the spiritual avatar of the white woman.
Yes.
And likes to put in all these little hints about all her stupid personal life gossip shit.
Right.
Like the red scarf and all this stuff.
All right.
And everybody, all the Swifties go all crazy because they have all these little treasure hunts to play with the song about who is doing what or who's mad at who.
All right. I want you to do me a favor. From now on, those little things you're talking about, refer to them as subliminals. For the culture, all right? Those are we call those subliminals
everywhere. That's why she's always in the back of the car and blah blah blah, and that's why Bad Blood is about how Katy Perry took her backup dancers, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
right. And so, one of the things that stood out to me in this whole thing is the line Taylor made, but also how everyone gets to have so much fun picking apart fucking lyrics on Euphoria.
Right,
like,
yeah.
Right away.
So the thing is too, on another side of this as well, there's just in addition to it being, so there's been a bunch of music that categorizes it in the same place as Drake's, but in addition to just like not fucking with it, his voice is annoying to me. I hate it. I really don't like the nasally I hate the sound.
let's move this whole rap
But that's where I'm going. That's exactly where I'm going.
The Toronto accent is being broadcast to the world for the fucking trash that it is.
And so I spend a fucking career talking about how garbage the Toronto accent is, how much I hate it. It starts to finally get some fucking play with the interview with that girl who's popping up.
You left your mom's in the hood.
Sick to me stomach, fam. You know, it's so horrendous. And I also years ago talked about how I remember going to school and watching people I was in fucking high school with try this shit out and just one day start turning it up and start dialing it up, and I'm like, stop it, stop saying that
Toronto
shit. It's horrible.
The Toronto accent is not okay. So. Non-Canadians, people who don't know Toronto. The Toronto accent isn't just offensive to your ears because it sounds like shit. It's literally an appropriated accent.
It's working in, it's trying to work in basically like patois Jamaican with a little bit of New York and then a little bit of vague whatever the fuck we picked up on Rap City on MTV that week. Whatever
it is not a real accent that people grow up listening to their parents speak. It is a learned accent.
Through television, not even filtered through people in real life. It is filtered through fucking television, right? It's the fakest, most bullshit ever. And so a lot of that, like, just lifted garbage nonsense starts, like, cementing itself as people are trying to sound fucking hard over...
And that's Jake's
right? Over nothing. And in particular, like, trying to sound hard, lifting shit from places like, I don't know, fucking Compton, right? So yeah, I mean, on the personal side of things, just imagine... over, from grade 7, you should start hearing people trying to sound this way, and then grade 8, a couple more people are doing it, and you're just like, I can't handle it, So that I have that level of personal, just like, fuck all of that, right?
Always hated it. It's terrible.
Never fuck. Listen, Toronto, god damn it. So anyway, so yes, and now the 6X. Toronto, Drake has always been like, it's the thing where it's like, yo, but it's Canada, it's representing Canada, and so it's like,
fuck that.
I don't give a fuck about that. That's like,
I don't want Toronto to represent
I don't claim
Canada.
him. I don't claim him. Anyways, so there's been this thing though where like it's also behind the scenes. There's been like energy of like, yeah, and so do a lot of like the hip hop community in America, especially because they're just like, yo, who the fuck is this Canadian nigga? Like, there's this level of just, all right, I guess, but there's that outsider bit where like, they're like, yeah, we kind of don't really want to see you do well, but you're doing really well. Those numbers are pretty uncontested, right? It's the safest, most playable, again, you're gonna hit the club and you're gonna hit your Walmart and it's gonna be the same thing. So anyways, he comes in.
I like, my brain, every time I think or talk about Drake to anyone, my brain is like, that Mos Def fucking quote is just
Mos Def, yeah,
on loop.
Or you get seen Bane.
I forget what it is, but it's like, it's a nice music to listen to in Target.
His music it's likable. It's likable is what he says, and then he's like, wow, so many products. Look at all the SKUs.
But it's so mean.
These products are great. Oh, is this that new Drake? Yeah, that's wonderful. Anyway, wow, we're shopping, Yeah. So anyway, that's the deal. And on the other side of the ring, right, in the red trunks, is the fucking most lyrical, hardest dude, the most real shit, who, if you've listened to his albums, the buildup has been this trajectory of like undeniable, like certified bangers, but the depth is so real, it's so there, and it hits you on a fucking guttural level, right? The shit that like, listening to that for the first time of like, yeah, it is the most personal journey, and it's Kendrick coming at it in such an incredible way that like like I mentioned, when they had the Super Bowl like fucking show and they got all the classics, you had Dre and Eminem and 50, and they got Mary J. Blige and just like a classic all-star lineup, and then Kendrick. It's like, yeah, that's right, that makes perfect sense. This is where that goes.
What a Pulitzer,
So again, and like he's fucking writing them like the shit's lighting on fire as he's doing it. It's incredible, right? And in particular, if you're like, I also like, ever since back in the day, I could hit him up was a fucking eye-opening moment for me as far as all that beef shit goes, and then learning about Pac and everything from there, coming out of like a particular like gospel wall into some other shit that my cousins was showing me and everything. There was a period of time where I was like, yo, fucking, like the duality of like of how young Tupac is and how much he had like a motivational, inspirational stuff, and then he had this shit that's like, I will absolutely end your fucking life and this is the realest shit it's ever been, is wild. But it was always really interesting. So then like when Kendrick kind of came in and like he's like, yo, I'm a huge fan of that dude too, and like a lot of his stuff references and gears and gets and points towards it, I found that awesome. It was a really nice modern day to kind of like echo and take that to another level, etc. It's the realest shit ever. It's insane to put these two up against each other and whatnot. So when he comes back after we hear nothing for a week, and then Push-Ups goes down, and then I was like, oh, what's taking Kendrick so long? Oh, damn, we've been waiting all day. He makes Tailor-Made, right? The Tailor-Made freestyle, which is, first off, it opens with the AI AI Tupac going, yo, Kendrick, you got to win this one. You got to do this for the hood. You can't let this Canadian do it. You better be coming back with something hard, otherwise it's over. And then AI Snoop as well coming in, same thing, because again it's representing the people that he respects, and like that's the opening salvo for that particular thing, and everyone's just like, what the fuck? That's not. Like, we get the angle of being like, oh, like your heroes are talking shit, they're talking down or whatever. That's what you tried to play. But most people are just like, don't fucking do that shit, including the fucking estate of one Mr. Shakur, who was like, get that shit off immediately. So they took it down. But the end of that track is where he kind of jumps in. And he's like, yeah, we've been waiting. Your response is taking too long. And he continues the whole motif he's been going on of drop and give me 50, right? Which the reasoning for the name Taylor made, and the reasoning for that line in particular coming up so much, is because they're referencing the fact that like the deals that Kendrick has signed was like basically he was forced to do these collaborations and move his shit around for Taylor Swift to collaborate with Taylor Swift whether or not he wanted to. He was forced to do it by his producers, and his deal essentially is going to have to give up 50% for everything. So the whole drop your album and give me 50% of what it makes is what he's trying to do with the whole push-ups bit and referencing that back in Taylor Made, etc. Great. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
After that goes down, a little bit later, is when Euphoria, the track that you heard, came out, where Kendrick kind of came back in with this whole like just like mellow vibe to the whole thing, like like nonplussed, like whelmed is the energy that he came back with in that. And that's where you first started hearing it, because like that's where it gets personal. That's where he starts making fun of the Toronto shit, the accent and all that.
It goes from I'm criticizing this about you, I'm criticizing this about you, I'm making fun, and now we're at I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you.
But he's introducing the concept though, because it's not even at full like hatred, like maximum power levels yet. It's just introducing the concept of like, I hate your vibe, I hate your shit, right? And I just hate the way you say nigga. I literally don't like it.
I don't want you to say it anymore.
It's not that deep. Some things can just be surface level. We don't want to hear you say it no more, right? And what's particular, I mean, that's obviously hilarious, right? Just he's like, yeah, some shit's just surface level. It doesn't have to be that deep. But like, if you do go and like, there's clips of people of interviews with Drake from years ago, and like, there's a particular one where he's talking about his influences and people that inspired him and shit. And like, he actually, the way he says it in the interviews, he's like, yeah, man, like, yeah, I remember listening and I was like, yeah, man, I fuck with that. Like, these are the niggers that I love. I want to, I love these dudes.
I saw that clip.
And it was just like,
and like, I like a puzzle piece just snapped into my fucking brain, because I'm watching a lot of TikToks from black folks that are way into hip hop explaining this, right? And like, one of the overwhelming like reads of Euphoria from black folk that I was watching was Kendrick is just telling him over and over, you are not black, stop pretending to be black, stop it. And then I saw that clip and was like, what is he doing? What is he saying? It's making me uncomfortable.
But then you have that, and the thing is remember, he's an actor. He is a performer. He is that, right? He is someone who comes from that, like the performance side of things, and can put on this character and can roll with that character and stay in it for your entire career. It's happened before. See Rodney Dangerfield. See Andrew Dice Clay. You can play this character for an extended period of time. The thing is that like there's people that have similar careers. I can bring up Donald Glover. Like,
Yeah.
Childish Gambino he's super talented, amazing director, amazing music, amazing,
kind of good at everything he does,
hilarious at comedy, and he's very earnest, I feel, about what he's putting out there and who he is and what's going on, and he's not trying to be something that he isn't with all of that. Mm-hmm. He's a versatile, he's covering all his bases, and each one of those things is very he's sincere about what it is, but Drake is trying to go full tilt into this side of things, despite the fact that we all know that his origins are not that, and it's clear as fuck, right? And so anyway, so you have clips like that, and that kind of ends it where people are just like, oh my god, they just Kendrick just revoked the pass from Drake, So
at this point, I go back and I listen to most of these that you're describing, right? And so I don't know these guys super well. Right, I Kendrick's hatred is beating in my heart because I can respect it and I love it, but my current takeaway at this exact moment was I would rather listen to Euphoria 10 times in a row than listen to any of than to listen to Push-Ups.
Sure.
Right, and so that's where I'm at. I don't know what's going on. There's kind of a lot that I don't get, and that I'm not prepared for. Mm-hmm. But I'd rather just put Euphoria on over and over and over.
And in the background of this, there's two things as well that are there. One, there's the fact that we also know that Drake also fucking again that inferiority complex, right? That level of nah, though I'm real, though I'm for real, take me seriously, has been there since his last beef, and that shit ended with fucking Pusha T exposing his hidden child, and then here's a photo of you in blackface for good measure. What the fuck is this dude? Who are you, right? And that's the energy that everyone still remembers from not too long ago. Which is it's crazy, right? So you get that whole fucking crazy thing with the whatever Addy Don, which we'll get to. But you have that, and then you have the fact that the track is called Euphoria, which people have noted that it's
so smart.
Are you referring to the hit television show that is airing about kids in high school?
Mm-hmm. That Drake's an executive producer on?
That seems... Oh, okay, cool. Well, just, that's a title.
You're telling me if I went to Google right now and typed in Euphoria, I would get a TV series, but then I would also get the Kendrick Lamar song making fun of Drake.
No. He put the definition in the screenshot. It's just euphoria. I'm feeling euphoric. I'm just feeling... I'm at peace. Yeah? I'm at ease. Everything feels good. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool.
No hidden meaning there. Got it.
Mm-hmm. 616 in LA follows up with that, and the thought is okay, that's two back to back, and so that week of silence or so was okay, he's putting some work in, right? Kendrick has been putting a thing together, and he has that photo. He has a photo of it's just some gloves, that okay, what is that about? Are these Drake's gloves? Yeah, probably. But he's getting at the idea that most of 616 in LA is just your team hates you. The people around you hate you too. I hate you, but your team hates you too. They're all rooting for you to fail, and the people closest to you are actually your biggest haters.
Listen. You actually have no friends. Like when I say that I hate you, that is a universal constant amongst everyone in your vicinity, everyone who's ever met you.
Yeah. They're praying for your downfall, and and the gloves are off at this point, so to speak, right? Yes, that's your reference there, right? So that same day, is when Drake comes back with Family Matters, and Family Matters is him coming in with the full on okay, yo, I'm going hard, this is it, and he has a full music video produced, right? Mm-hmm. He had time to go film.
Pretty impressive for a diss track to have a whole music video.
He had time to go film himself in LA and then go up to Toronto and film himself going to New Ho King, which is the restaurant that Kendrick referred to, which is this it's a Chinese food spot on Spadina, and
which I'd like to point out is apparently crushing it right now.
Oh, they're doing nuts, of course. Yeah.
Oh man,
they're killing
so
it.
happy about this fucking rap beef.
But it's notable because and it goes back a couple of layers with this whole thing. But it's like that's essentially where, long story short, the Toronto gangs that and sets that Drake is affiliated with. There's a thing where he basically got robbed for his chain at that place, and like
cool.
and a dude that like and then there's this whole thing with like a dude that got killed and etc. But like it's a reference to a particular place. So he shows himself going back up there and being like, nah, look, I'm here. I'm with the owner. He's trying on my jewelry. We're chilling. We're doing it. We're having fun. And in the meantime, the rest of the video is him, continuing to elaborate. And then he has a tractor that is crushing a van, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the van that's being crushed there is the one from the cover of Good Kid, Mad City, right? Where like it's basically like, oh, we're taking you to the pound and we're dumping we're taking out the trash, etc. Right? And that's what that reference is supposed to be. His whole thing there is like, there's rumors that your wife left you, that your kid is not yours. There's rumors that you beat your wife.
This is good accusations.
This shit starts coming out. It wasn't the same van. It was the wrong van. But like, this starts coming out, and and then essentially just being like, like, okay, this is all light work, and he starts switching up his flow. He starts doing something like usually Drake is not. He doesn't often do. He's got a very one-note style. He's got a very particular thing. He starts putting the effort in. The beat changes up.
There's been a lot of beat switches over these songs.
Right? He puts effort in to it, and it's like, oh shit, okay, yeah. Like people are like, yeah, like you've dropped a response. You've come at it with some allegations. We don't know where they're from or what they're based on, or the thing of the thing where like your son is not your own is again a whole extreme thing that would sound like a chapter out of Drake's life, but he's retaliating here in this way.
Don't
and that happens, and motherfuck, all of that effort, including flying to 2 locations, filming it, putting together the whole thing, putting the most effort he's ever put in. Right? He literally says too, like, I'm going on vacation after this. It's done. It's time to it's time to end this, right? It's time to fucking decapitate. I'm going on vacation. Half an hour later, the Orbital strike that is Meet the Grahams just like right people like DJ Academics is in the middle of like analyzing the whole of the track and getting all like, oh fuck, Drake's Drizzy's the best, he's coming back, etc. There's a lot of people that are like the Drake stans that are just, they're out there and they're like living this life of just like, nah though, but the money and the hits are all that matter, never mind the rest. And they're as the term would say, they're doing gymnastics on it. Right? So they're doing tricks on it is what they say.
So Meet the Grahams comes out, and I want to say 8 seconds into the song before I had to pause it and be like, put my hand over my mouth and go, oh. First of all, it sounds creepy. The fucking song sounds fucking unhinged. It's creepy. 2, starting your diss track by talking to this man's son about what a piece of shit his dad is the most petty fucking shit I can imagine.
Estranged initially, now brought into the spotlight through the last beef. And then your dad embarrassingly acknowledges your existence and has you in photos now, because when you first came out, he was basically like, he shipped the mom off because it's like, oh, you have a secret son with a sex worker. They're off in France. Let's get them out of the spotlight. We don't want that to fuck with the image of who Drake is. And now you're begrudgingly in the spotlight.
The image of Drake is a guy who hides his kids.
Right. So we're going to start this off with, the whole thing of like, in the same way that TaylorMade is like, we're not addressing you directly, we're talking to other people, because there's other people that are like also getting, you know, shot up in this, and no, not literally, but shots are being taken at, you know, Rick Ross and all, and everything and so on. But the main two, Kendrick just kind of is like, okay, dear Addie Dawn, your father's a horrible human being. I'm sorry he's not a man that's there for you. And I'm sorry he's not a good dad. I'm sorry.
You know what really, really like fucks with me on this? Because like it's impossible for anyone to know, right? But my perception listening to this, it sounds at least somewhat genuine.
Yeah.
Like,
no. There's
like, I'm sorry, kid.
No, there is an absolute element here. No, I believe so as well, because the rest of the way this plays out also is not just like is diss track for diss track's sake. It does sound like he's genuinely saying some shit to every one of the man's family, right? He's saying, "Dear Adonis, I'm sorry your father is who he is, and I'm sorry that you know you're not the priority. I'm sorry he's not going to be there to teach you and be a stand-up man." And he gives him some life advice, you know, like Piccolo to Gohan. You know, he says if someone ever pisses on your leg, you know, you stand there and, well, he's like, you better stand up for yourself. Don't just let that happen, you know. And that apparently is making reference to the fact that an incident happened some years ago where Drake got disrespected on a red carpet when one of T.I.'s dudes pissed on his leg. just right there, like, yeah, what? and like
that's hilarious.
And he just took it, and it was that's some real shit that went down. So he's talking about that. Crazy shit, right? And then, you know, play this back when you're 18, if you need to, if you don't get it now. Verse 2.
Hey, Drake's mom.
Dear Drake's mom,
I'm sorry your son is a creepy black woman hating pedophile.
This is he just kind of says he's a horrible person, and you probably need to sit down for this. Dear Drake's dad, you should ask him for more money. Also, like, shame on you for raising a horrible person. Dear Drake's parents in general, it's important that you understand that this dude is sick. He has sick and twisted thoughts, and I think he should die. I think your son should die.
Fuck a rap battle. He should just die.
Like, and so I'm sitting there, just go like, what? Like, straight up, you know. He's like fucking like just he's like and again he's implying he's sick and twisted. You need to keep the family away from him. Friends, anyone who knows, right? If you're someone that's got your daughters around him, keep them away. Keep the family safe.
He's bad,
right? Just straight up like shame on you, the parents, right? Verse 3: Dear unknown secret child that is 11 years old, your daughter.
Girl. Yeah.
I'm sorry that, once again, your father's a bad person and that he's this predator and he's this fucking creep and that you have to deal with this and we don't know anything about you. And now that's just, and just, again, like, the fact that this could have happened again is wild, right? And it's not unbelievable, because especially now that, like, there's that like questionable, like, oh, was this a planted piece of information? Was it not real? The fact that you can look back at this accusation and be like, yeah, but it's super cromulent though. Like,
oh, you know how I decided to look it up and found articles from 9 years ago about his fucking hidden daughter who was 2 years old at the time?
People are analyzing tweets where he has a tweet from 12 years ago that just says baby girl, you know? Like, and it's just like, oh, is he talking to someone that, you know,
that's crazy. He planted that shit a decade ago.
Was that the birth of his child, or was that a hookup? Who knows? But either way, the way this is coming together is like, you know, Kendrick is like, yep, so I'm sorry about that too. All right. And then at long last, you know, dear Aubrey, just like,
die.
Please, please go end. You're the worst. You're a fucking creep. We hate you. We don't want you around. And this is not a battle with me. This is a lifelong battle with yourself.
And to top it all off, this wild things being said here. I'm looking at YouTube. I'm like, why the fuck is the picture on this YouTube video some guy's shirt?
Yeah.
And then I look at it, I'm like, wait, that's the gloves from the last one.
You zoomed out.
And it's like, wait, is that his fucking prescription? Is this from inside Drake's fucking house?
This is the Ozempic prescription that he has. This is the a bunch of his personal shit. There's the gloves, the shirt, the all of that because he's like, yeah, there's all these things about like, oh, you take Ozempic, you whatever, like prescription, you had surgery for your abs and whatever. So he's like, yeah, you lied about everything about who you are.
V12, that's a fast one, flew right over my head until I saw someone explain to me that a V12 is a fucking ab machine lipo fucking freak thing.
In addition to an engine, right? So yeah, like the fact that like he's just like, here's this photo of like we fully zoomed out to reveal the shit that like got jacked from your place or whatever. And
there's something that's like really beautiful about that because like I'm in your house, I'm in your walls, it's like pulling your shirts out of your closet. Okay, that's its own like nightmare, right? But the core of like some of this message is all your friends hate you.
It's not even me. They can't wait to fucking yeah.
And how could I prove to you that all your fucking friends hate you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have one of your friends take shit out of your fucking drawers and send me photos of it for fun.
And the deal has been too that like essentially all the things we were echoing about other people saying that like, oh yeah, it's likable music, it's fine, it's surface level, it's whatever. There's a lot of people that are like on the payroll that are around that are, you know, they get put on. But like,
I would like to make some money, please.
Yes, but essentially like there's a level, there's not much loyalty to it. It's a very clear like, this is a paycheck, we can ride this as far as it'll go. And every time, and he's also somebody who will collaborate frequently, you know, and do lots of featurings and shit like that. So as he'll feature constantly on people's shit and vice versa, there's a lot of coattail room for people. So there's a whole bunch of people that are just like, yeah, fuck all this, you know. And then like that drops and just absolutely fucking levels the situation because
I've listened to that song once.
It takes the entire high effort response that we just got from Drake and just levels it to a non-starter. There's nothing to talk about.
It had no chance to get going.
Right? Completely deflates it. Also, the fact that he had it sitting there, and it's also a family-related thing. The track release was Family Matters. Here's a track about your family.
It's weird how it's almost like Kendrick knew what kind of song Drake was going to write before he wrote it.
It's almost like it was all according to Keikaku, you know, and just like napalming the ground, you know, where there's already nothing left, right? And so, and everyone,
I find Meet the Grams impossible to listen to. Like I listened to it and I was like, wow, that's crazy. I can't hear it. It makes me so uncomfortable.
Right, yeah. And so this is too where like I'm like getting in an Uber and like it's playing on the fucking like the driver's listening to it and I'm like, we're like, oh my god, isn't this the great? He's like, bro, I'm telling you. And I'm like, yo, I'm from Canada. He's like, you're from Canada? I'm like, yes. I'm from Canada. Fuck that dude, right? It's done. He's like, ah. Straight up, like I'm like you picked the right one today. Like I'm right here to tell you.
Oh man!
On behalf of my Canadian passport, fuck Drake. Right. And that was a lot of fun, you know. And then yeah, you can't even.
And that was the end of the rap beef, and we all went home.
I'm sorry. Are you trying to catch your breath? Do you remember that moment in End of Ava when like it's all gone to shit and there's that shot of like Misato's corpse on the ground and then it just gets bombed again? Like she's already been shot. It's already done.
Yeah, there's no moment to even sit there and just go, oh.
and you just go, oh, like it just you're like, you've already been sad about the character that you lost, and then it just takes the remnants of that, like, not a living thing, and just evaporates it. Yeah, that's not like us.
Not like us. So I described listening to Meet the Grahams, and I got like one bar in. I'm like, I can't. Oh my god, I feel uncomfortable. I don't think the video for Not Like Us had even fucking finished loading in, like had faded in on the photo before I'm like, is that the sex offender registry fucking pins on Drake's house?
So I didn't know what that was until Punch Mom came back over and went, do you know what these are? Right? I was like, what? Like, that's just where the rabbit hole is going. Like, she's diving down deep on her own. You're diving down deep on your own. Where I saw where you were just like, oh God, I couldn't imagine being the subject of this song. Right?
I know. I listen a lot, Not Like Us, and I would kill myself if someone wrote this song about me.
Immediately followed by, man, I need to start listening to Lamar.
I'm doing my best out here, man.
Let's go. Sit down, be humble. There's a lot to learn. It's good shit, right? But that level of just like, okay, the thumbnail is... So before, we were hinting, we were implying, we're setting it up.
There was a Weinstein line in the last one.
Yeah, I think you and Weinstein should rot forever, etc. Yeah, exactly, right? And
keep
then,
your kids away.
And then, yeah, and the thing is, and there's been stuff like the whole, like, there's been all these weird things with, like, Millie Bobby Brown being, like, she's like, oh, yeah, we've been friends since I was 13 or whatever.
Friends forever!
And all these things, you know.
He tells me about boys.
So everybody is already kind of vaguely aware of, like, stuff like that and shit. Which, of course, when something like this happens, then now all that fucking gets brought up to the fullest detail under the microscope. But this track is just like the subtlety is done, right? I've already established that I'm sorry for your family. I've already established that I hate you and I hate everything about you. And like, this is beyond the idea of like, I'm a better rapper or that this is even beef. I've already established that I think you should die. So at this point, what else is there to say except... like, literally, certified lover boy, certified pedophile.
Well, last time I said I think you should die, and here is a piece of music explaining in detail why I think you should die.
Wow!
You're a pedophile. All of your friends are pedophiles. You harbor pedophiles. God. You touch kids.
There's people on your payroll as well. That's what all the dots are about. And there's a whole thing with like, yeah, people that are part of OVO, October's very own, aka OVO, right? That are now like, that are also on the registry, etc. And just that level of, you know, you tried to strike a chord. It was probably a minor. And so, like, we're in the level of like, okay, we've established everything. There's nothing left to do except like salt the earth, burn it, walk away, and then just call down one more orbital strike for just to make sure. You know?
Not Like Us is not just the meanest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It's also the most entertaining thing to listen to that is also the meanest thing in my entire life. Not Like Us is the best song out of this whole thing by a huge margin.
It's not only the ending salvo, it's not only the rip it in half, it's fucking done. It's not only I thought the ether happened, right? We thought the hit 'em up happened. It's not only that, it's like the fucking bop. It's
like, it's just fun to listen to.
Oh my God. And so cut to like it being played in the club. You know, and like everyone's...
That's when it was over. That video of the club, I think it's in Atlanta or maybe LA, where there's like it's the day of the track's release, and it is coming on in a packed club, and everyone already knows all the words.
Man.
Over.
Yeah. So, you know, that it's all of it. It's the whole thing. There is nothing else to really do at that point And I just remember that like every second of because that's the point where like whenever someone drops, like there's like radio silence is what can you do, right? How fast can you get some shit together?
This is a pretty fucking hefty bomb laid at your feet.
And the overall feeling is very clear that like with 3 tracks in one day, mind you, and there's the back to back into the back to back. It's like this is someone who took a week, went to the war room, and it really felt like he was a general calling down strikes, And so
listen, I'm gonna hit him with this, and then he might retaliate with this, but then I'm gonna hit him bap bap like that.
Right. And every time there's like sir, they just hit the second tower. Sir, they just hit a third tower. Sir, there's no towers left. Sir, we're out of planes. Right? It's just like it's just that feeling of like he really did just like, okay, hit him again. Like there can't be anything. And this is how fucking thorough Kendrick Lamar is about his shit, right? And God bless, I mean, there's the thing with him where it's like he takes his time between albums. He's not coming out every 2 seconds. And let that speak to the fucking quality of his work. But when you inspire him,
there's so like
when inspiration strikes, when the muse hits, this man wrote an album. He wrote an album. He wrote
a diss album.
I'm sure there are more that are in the wings.
Oh, you mean like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5? Oh, not like us. He says, "How many shots do I got?" He says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5.
Right. Okay. Right. The full thing. Right. That line.
There are 7 more tracks.
And the idea that's fucking. I didn't even catch that. That's crazy. The idea that he literally wrote an entire album out, and like the deflate that it's so deflating. Right, whenever that happens, and that's a really like it's in beefs too. Whenever you do that, the back to back and then the back to back and such, it's like if you respond, what are you gonna do? You're responding to one, cool. You covered one hole in the boat. What about that one? What are you gonna right? Like you can't possibly when you just get overwhelmed with it. One track.
You are a bad rapper. You are not good to your family. Also, you touch kids. Respond to each of these now, please.
It's insane, right? You can't possibly. So yeah. There's that just deafening silence, and that's where you're like, man, what the fuck's he gonna, And I that's where that like me and Punch Up were just talking about. I'm like, I think after that, especially with the level of it and the fact that like, when it comes to like, where are the receipts type of shit, right? That comes up a lot with the accusations being levied back and forth. With Drake, the receipts have been public for a long time.
Oh, we'll get to that in just a second. That the receipts discussion gets to happen.
Okay.
Right afterwards. But like I'm sitting here, so Paige knows music, right? I don't know music. Paige plays instruments and she can sing, right? So we're laughing our asses off at trying to strike a chord, but it's probably A minor.
Okay, hold on.
And she points out that A minor is a chord with no black keys in it.
This is a stretch. There's levels.
Is it?
Yes, it is. There's levels to this. There's levels to this shit that often like will land, and then there's shit where it's like, okay, we're.
Is it? Because it feels perfect.
I wonder. I mean, okay. The thing with the ACE was the thing with I thought
that's probably a stretch.
Sorry, okay. That's what I thought you were bringing up there. Sorry,
no. That's a stretch. Even I'll admit that's a stretch.
Okay,
it's crazy.
The ACE thing is a ridiculous stretch.
Has no black keys.
Yeah. Okay, right. Yes,
that's just really funny.
So because I was preemptively responding to the other bit, but yeah. So that like level of shit is going on, and you have to do something. So
you can't let a fucking club fucking hit calling you a fucking kitty toucher just sit.
So I'm like, this is where we get. I'm expecting, like, because he has to have a video and he has to subtitle it for everybody because the production's important. I'm expecting, acapella, no beat. I'm gonna sit here and talk to the camera with a white black background, and just be like, hey, that was not cool.
Hey, that's not okay.
You know,
So-
I really did. Yeah.
So in the prelude to Post Not Like Us, but before Drake's response, which is I forget the name of it.
Drake, the Heart Part 6.
The Heart Part 6. People start posting the same video over and over and over on social media. And this is Drake with his ghostwriters in the studio right now. And it is Frank Reynolds from Always Sunny running into the room going, we have to write a song about how we don't touch kids.
I don't touch kids.
I never do it with anybody younger than my daughter. Gotta be big, not a kid.
Don't diddle kids.
This is what the fucking song is going to be.
Like that, exactly. Like, can you seriously come out and just be like, hey, I am not a pedophile? Like, it's crazy. It's right. So, but that's the position you're in, and you can't do nothing. So
it's so fucked too, because he can't make a song where he doesn't say, by the way, I'm not a pedophile. He has to say that. And
then again, if there's been anything that you've already known about that you've been saving up, it would have been said at this point, but it hasn't, so there isn't, so that's just the knockout, because it's checkmate. The reply is failure, the non-reply is failure, everything is fucked. So yeah, what you do, and this has happened in the past too, and this happened with the Adidon shit, was just like, you gotta go down swinging, right? You gotta go down
to attack. You can't just defend.
It's exactly, and you're gonna go. Everyone's gonna know it's over. Everyone's gonna know it's the weakest shit. But regardless, you have to do something. So he releases the Heart Part 6. The Heart Part whatever is something that comes up throughout his Kendrick's discography. Like the Heart Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all tracks from either his mixtapes or his previous albums, and and it's him being sincere, or opening up and saying, usually saying something real, right?
So it's really smart that Drake grabbed that, because now Kendrick can't use that as a fucking song title anymore.
He took the title away, so to speak. Except, wouldn't the hardest fucking move to just drop your next album to put a track on it called The Heart Part 6 anyways, and move on, because who the fuck cares?
Which version are you talking about? I'm obviously talking about the Kendrick version of the song.
Right? Like the thought was, I'm going to take the title away from you of this long running thing and make it so that you'll never be able to use it again, except he totally can, and no one will give a fuck, because shit was weak. What can you say, right? He comes in and he's like, and now you start to see this, the cracking and the fucking unfolding is like shit that was not brought up by Kendrick, but is in the public eye anyway, because everyone's thinking about it. He starts talking about, right? So he knows, he's like, because there's a level of it where it's like, he can't say, oh, the pedophile angle I predicted. So he has to say, like, oh, the Epstein angle I predicted, and you're going into that shit, right? You go.
All right, so this is my favorite part of the whole thing. Like, so, which is right away, like one of the first lines in the whole fucking thing is, I predicted you would call me a pedophile. Why did you predict people would call you a pedophile?
Just it's like, no, so he's talking about how we set the whole thing up, and this was great exercise and whatever, and we planned the whole thing and we plotted information, right? And the information he's talking about plotting is the thing about his daughter, right? And he's like,
I definitely don't have a daughter,
right? Prove that in any way you can. So it's like, okay, let's see where that is. Now everything
I set that
else
up 9 years ago, idiot.
Yeah. Now everything else that we set up, it's like, if you did in fact set this up and go, here's the shit we're gonna send to him, here's the photo, take a picture of all my stuff, right? Wouldn't you then also take a photo of one more version where you're standing behind all the stuff going, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You would videotape you guys
the
sitting
whole
around
thing,
talking about how you're gonna fuck with them, and he'd look so stupid.
Right? If you had this fucking master plan, instead of just, I'm not owned.
I'm definitely not owned.
And shrinking into a small Ozempic bottle. Like,
listen, Woolie. I've heard a lot of people get caught or accused of, or people say mean things. I've seen a lot of mean things said to people in my life, and I genuinely think the nah mans I saw on this track are the weakest, most nonsensical fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
Nobody brought.
Step one, show me the receipts. Huh? Show me the receipts.
Nowhere in Kendrick's lines did he bring up Millie Bobby Brown, but
He did.
Did he? He mentioned
did.
her?
Not by name, but he says, you say you like 10s, but I know you like your girl 11. That's a strange thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because it's in because that's the most popular of the, like, here's some weird shit from a long time ago, right? That's sick. But there's then these videos of, like, here's the, like, 17-year-old that came on stage where he's like, oh, man, why is she so hot? How old are you?
Like,
let me kiss you anyways, right?
Okay.
Like,
so like me and Paige are like, because he says show me the receipts, and then my fucking timeline just explodes with receipts, and that's the most uncomfortable one by such a huge margin, because he kissed a 17-year-old girl on stage, and you go, oh, like on the cheek, right? And then you watch the video, no. But then she tells him, and he's like, "Oh man," you're like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like, "I liked it though," and you're like, "Oh no,
right,
no,
right."
Don't do now, don't go in for more kisses. No, don't stop doing that.
Right? There's, I mean, all over Genius, you can get just like these little screenshots of that you were a baddie even in your yearbook, you know. Right? You've got just like so many self-reports over the years.
So many incredible deleted Drake tweets that I've been seeing that are just like, they read like shit.
So this is where it's like, now you have to imagine this response, because of the nature of the fucking previous track. This is not about the battle anymore. This is not about who's the best rapper. This is not about any of that. This is a man fighting for the millions of dollars and the empire that he's built, trying to keep that shit from collapsing, because this is wild, right? This is career-ending shit. He has to address that, as opposed to like fucking like the context of the beef.
Hey,
even,
listen, Wooly, we're kind of missing the forest for the trees here. Okay, so there's accusations that Drake is creepy and touches kids or grooms minors or whatever, but you have to remember, and this is really important, Drake is really famous. And if he was touching kids or grooming minors, he'd be arrested. He's too famous to get away with this kind of thing.
You know what? That's a fucking great counterpoint. We didn't consider that. Damn. L Kung Fu Kenny, Drake won.
So I'm like I slapped my space bar when I heard that. I'm like, no. And here's my favorite part. It doesn't even make sense in his own song, because he talks about the Epstein angle. And when he's talking about feeding the information, we planned for a week to feed you fake information, that goes against what he said a couple bars earlier, where he's like calling the sources that you believe in dummies, right? And saying that, like, he's saying like, oh, you believed in some non-credible shit, and he's calling them clowns. So it's like, the clowns are the people are your clowns
that
you set up, right?
That your clowns then? What do you like? What the fuck are you getting at? You know? So
hey, listen, Wooly. We need to sit in awe of the absolute worst defense of any position anyone has ever seen in their life, which is the only reason you hate pedos is because you got molested. The absolute worst angle.
Mother eye. Oh wait, wasn't that the track where you got touched? Okay, so that's the thing. All right, so Mr. Morale and the Hot Stepper and the Big Steppers is like that Mr. Morale is an album that is really, really vulnerable. It's fucking like he gets into shit about his mom, shit about his past, right? He gets into all kinds of like, again, shit about abuse. He has a family member. He has an auntie who transitions, and like this whole thing is very, again, it's very real, right? And like, it's the wildest part is that like in the middle of this extremely vulnerable album, there's that song where he talks about that, but the whole thing in that particular song is that it didn't happen, right? It's that his mom went through that shit, and then she and others were like asking him if he did, if he got touched or so, but he didn't. And there was this whole thing about like him being believed, which was but it's the main takeaway, it's the main point.
Are
right?
you telling me that Drake was trying to deflect off of pedo accusations by saying, well, you're just mad you got molested, to somebody who hadn't even been molested, and he would know that if he had listened to the whole song?
So, I mean, when you're grasping at straws, you're grasping at straws. But like, the level is, if it did happen, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it didn't happen, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's insane. It's like the OS is, no matter how reality plays out here, you fucked up, you failed. Like, it's so insane to go in on that, Listen,
Drake, I don't think using the Onion article "school bully not so tough since being molested" as the core of your comeback.
Dude, the headquarters is in a spiral, okay? Things are bad. It's red alert. They're tired. No one has slept. And quite frankly, the Citizen app is not helping with its pings.
I saw people talking about like they saw Kendrick at his house or in his studio, and Kendrick looks like shit. He looks like he hasn't slept in days.
Oh,
and they surmise that he is just writing and writing and writing and writing.
Whenever shit like this hits like the fever pitch, a lot of lies and bullshit comes out, but I fucking believe that, because yeah, dude is like, when he's on and you can see it, right? Every single fucking step of it. To the point where, yeah, there's shit you were mentioning here that I missed in this fucking, in covering the whole bit, right? Like, there's shit that we still haven't uncovered, or probably still haven't gotten to, or that has not been dissected yet, that might come up yet still later. Incredible. It truly is a masterclass in hatred, right? This is what it looks like. And when you have this type of like response, it's like, yeah, Kendrick could drop any of the next, he could mag dump, right? Empty the clip if you wanted to.
No, that's not what he's gonna do.
The feeling,
he's gonna wait until the most inconvenient possible moments.
Well, but the feeling here is already like, it's what else is there to, like, he got in the coffin, he sprinkled dirt on himself, and he shut it.
Well,
like,
I don't know if you know this, but this actually ties into gaming news on this next part. Kendrick is going to be featured as a song on the Street Fighter 6 information next week on a PlayStation Showcase.
Okay.
Because DJ Academics said yesterday that Kendrick can't drop anything for now because he has to wait until the Sony thing next week happens.
Oh my God. Ack. God damn it. Is that real?
I was told that was real.
Well, the universe is saying otherwise. Okay, not real. All right. Well, I mean, they did work with brain is drawing a blank. Lil Wayne earlier at launch. So,
well,
so yeah, no, they fucking just like, there's a point we're at, I'd say here, where further volleys, like, I don't even, like, there's not much here to say.
Well,
you might as well like stock that shit and just have it ready to go for a rainy day if needed.
But what if someone else has something to say?
Oh. What if someone else doesn't have something to say? They just got
what was that guy's name? Metro Boomin?
Metro Boomin.
And Drake told him to just go make some drums.
Just go make some drums.
What if he did that?
Yo, Metro made some drums, and then he released them, and he basically put a contest out, and like it's just you use the hashtag with BBL Drizzy.
BBL Drizzy.
And it's a fucking banger of a beat.
It's great.
It's so good.
It's incredible.
Yo, once the beat drops, man. Oh god. And it's amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So everyone's jumping in on it. Like whether or not you even want in on the beef, you're just like, now's the time. Here's a hashtag. I'm gonna promote your career.
Language diss tracks.
Right.
To the BBL's Drizzy beat.
Open fucking source as well, because you've got the fact that a lot of this shit is playable and not getting claimed. Not every track in the beef is under that protection, but a lot of it is. So Kendrick is actually like, it's like, yeah, no, play it, talk about it by all means. If go bar by bar if you must, break it all down. So that's fucking great. Yeah, it's just he walked out of the last beef, with that like, hey, here's my son. Look, we're hanging out. I'm a good dad now. We're doing it. All right. Wait, chill, let some time pass, and then you know what? The next time you go to the club, that's it. The music's gonna be playing and everyone's gonna be dancing and it'll be a good old time. I don't know.
The song of the summer is Drake Touches Kids.
So the thing that the what I just described, where he gets out of the last beef by just making the club hits and like letting that continue to just spread. The problem is that the track that ended you here is taking the place of
so good
of what your shit would be. Like it's the thing that you should be making everyone forget about the beef because you've got another club hit. No, the ether is now the club hit. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to release. Oh my god.
The idea, like my like pie in the sky is that Kendrick manages to put all these together into an album and releases that album, which would put it in consideration for the Grammys.
I mean, at that point, right, that's where you start getting fucking that's where legal teams start getting involved, I'm sure, at a certain point,
And then they'll ask Drake to present.
Man. I mean, that should have been the album called Damn. I mean, really. Like, holy fuck. Which brings us back around to, if you're gonna start listening, I think you should start with To Pimp a Butterfly.
Got it.
Then I would I'd head up Good Kid, Mad City. That's pretty strong. Section 80 is where he lays out who he is. You get introduced to him. It's very musical, very good. A lot of the stuff that comes later gets wild, gets artistic, but fucking there's always good shit there. But yeah, that's what's going on. that's what's going on.
I don't know where this can go. Like it feels over, but it's not.
I mean, it's just like it is the ultimate in just the hubris, right? Of like saying, I want that smoke, I really do. And the only thing I guess there is like it takes a level of ego to just have it all. You have the most surface level, but you run the most basic level shit, and you're just not satisfied with that. So you try to overreach. And you know what, man? You know what? The winner of the fucking beef is not Drake nor Kendrick Lamar. It's J. Cole. J. Cole
the smartest man in the world.
J. Cole won this war.
I saw some folks in the chat saying court. That's where it goes, right? I'm not a lawyer, but I do know one thing about United States libel, slander, and defamation law, which is the criteria is that in order for Drake to sue Kendrick for saying all this shit, he would have to prove that Kendrick knew what he was saying was false when he said it. And that seems impossible.
You're also describing a hypothetical scenario where a hip hop beef can go to court and have someone sit there and say, Your Honor, tell him to stop saying nasty things about me. And
I would love that.
And somehow,
I would love that.
And somehow survive this career.
I would love it. That would be the best. Your Honor, he's a very mean man.
Your Honor, make him stop is wild. Like, you just look, MGK knew better. He just left. He picked up his things and he walked over to the next genre and he put him down over there, you know? So, yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, boy.
Well, now that we've covered the rap beef, there's nothing else to talk about this week.